What is going on, Titans fans? We have News 2's own Cory Curtis live with us tonight, as you see here, to give us a scoop on training camp. What's the latest on Cam Ward? Will Xavier Restrepo make the team? And is Jalen Duncan for real? All next on the Titan Upload Network. And we look forward to the show. Here we go.
Did you have a target when you threw your aerial support?
Yeah, I had a target. I was trying to hit one of them boys in red jerseys. So, I mean, it was good. That's what football comes to. We dapped it up right after practice. Ain't no big deal. But I mean, I'm excited. You know, the team know I got their back. They're gonna have mines. And, you know, might have another skirmish, but I know we're gonna be together.
All right. I don't know if that played correctly or not. It froze on my screen. Did it for y'all?
Nope, look good.
Okay. Anyways, off to a great start. But thanks for coming on tonight, Cory. We appreciate it very much. It's been a while. It's good to have you back. It's good to have football back going again. And honestly, you know, wanted to bring you on that, get your thoughts on training camp. Obviously, you've been there. I guess for most of training camp, I would imagine.
I've been to every practice except for the Nissan Stadium practice and today's practice in Tampa.
There you go. So you've seen it all as far as that's concerned. So what is just first and foremost, the overall vibe from this year to last season?
Well, look, I mean, I think you know the overwhelming sentiment from last year was the overhype of the football team. And I think they're being very careful not to do that this year. You know, there's been a lot of talk about energy, urgency. You know, there's just not that. I don't get caught up in that. They just need better players, and they need players to play better. One of the things I do know is this. They've been putting the offense in disadvantageous situations. They've been trying to make everybody uncomfortable all the time. And, you know, you got to be able to respond to that. And so when you hear about some of the down practices or things aren't looking so good, it's because they're being challenged. Okay. And, you know, I think in the last few days, you've seen them start to respond. And it sounds like today in Tampa, they responded. And it's that whole notion of this. You make practice hard so the games are easy. And we'll see if it pays off or not.
Right. And I know, like, when I was at training camp practice Wednesday, yesterday, I got to go to the last practice there. I noticed, like, the coaches coming over to the sidelines, saying things to the fans, having them. It was the running backs coach. He was like, let's rate these guys, cheer if they're doing good, boo if they're doing the drills right. I don't remember it being like that when Mike Vrabel was here. I mean, am I wrong on that?
No, I've never seen that before, and I didn't see it yesterday, and I'm probably not paying attention. But yesterday was also the last day for fans at practice, and that might have been why there was maybe a little bit more of that. I don't know. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it was just surprising to me. You might be right as far as that goes, but it was really shocking to me that was going on, especially the coach. And then
was that Randy Jordan?
Spears, huh?
Randy Jordan, I think is his name.
Yeah, Randy Jordan. And after the game, like Callahan came out. Most of the fans were already gone, and Callahan came out, and there was maybe like 20 fans left, and he was actually having actual conversations with the fans, and I got to talk to him for like a minute or two, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
that's something I don't remember happening either.
Well, he's busy. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate as head coach, but I mean, the fans are important to him, and I think he just had a few minutes to try to get out there and shake some hands and take some selfies, and so he took that opportunity. I snuck into that line. I didn't take a selfie with him. I just talked to him for a second.
Right. I know, Mark, you had some questions too, especially about like Jalen Duncan. You had a few questions you wanted to get out there.
He is muted. So whether you have to unmute him or he has to unmute himself, he is muted. There we go.
There you go.
I got kids in the background, so I'm sorry about that. So anyways, we had a poll question in the community, and we wanted the audience, the followers of the Titan Upload Network. We had about 500 people vote, and we broke it down into 4 different people that have headlines with them. And surprise, surprise, the winner was Xavier Restrepo. We left Cam Ward off the list because obviously he would have won. So we'll just get right to it, Cory. Do you have Xavier Restrepo making the roster?
If he does, he's the 7th. Okay. And I'm still struggling to figure out who returns punts for this football team. I think ideally it's Chimere Dike, because then they don't have to keep a 7th to do it. I think these 2 preseason games and joint practices are important. If he shows out in those 2 games, like in practice, like DMR last year showed out against Seattle at practice, and they knew at that point we can't put him on the practice squad. They're going to take him. The Seahawks made that clear. They were going, if he was available, they were going to take him. And so, you have to wait and see with Restrepo, where that is, because, Ridley's making the team, Lockett's making the team, Van Jefferson's probably making the team, the 2 rookies are probably making the team. That's 5. And I think Bryce Oliver's making the team. And he's a valuable special teams player, and I think he can play receiver as well. He had another great combat catch today. So that's 6 guys. So now you're looking at, it's 7. Are you going to keep 7? Now, I don't think they're going to keep 5 tight ends this year. I don't think it would behoove them to keep 5 tight ends this year. So I guess it's my way of saying I think it's 50-50 right now. And I think these games and practices are important for him.
So you brought up special teams, and we love our guy Mason Kinsey on the channel, but I have one gripe, and I wanted to just give it to you.
Sure.
To see if you think we're crazy about this, or give me something that I can, deal with this on. Okay. So the end of the year last year, we know Jaquan Jackson struggled a little bit, so he got replaced.
7 fumbles.
7 fumbles. He had a little fumbling problem at Tulane that people glossed over too, by the way, but we'll just put that to the side. But long story short, Kinsey, I think the last 6 or last 5 games, he was your punt returner. In preseason, the first unofficial roster that ever came out in 2024, Kinsey was your starting punt returner. And we heard, which was fair, it's unofficial, doesn't mean a word. And Kinsey didn't make the 53. But here's my question to you. You've been at every practice, you said, for the most part, other than, Tampa Bay and at Nissan Stadium. Is there a reason why Kinsey doesn't get to compete at punt returner when that's like his only way to make the roster? Why is Kinsey not get an opportunity?
Because they want someone else to do it. I mean, that's plain and simple. Like I said, they want Chimere Dike to be able to win that job. Who else do they have doing it? They've got Jaquan back there. They've got Prochet back there. Is Restrepo doing it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's the bottom line. And when you look, here's the thing that's interesting. You can put Mason on the practice squad, and you're confident he's not going to get scooped up. Okay. Yeah. And so he's that mobile player for you that you can move up and down. They also know what they've got, with him. But now with Mike Vrabel in New England, can you put him on your practice squad, or is Vrabel going to get him? Because Vrabel loves his guys. I mean,
true.
That's simple.
True.
I think he just picked up another one. There's another former Trey Avery. I think he just picked him up. I think he just picked up Trey Avery. So,
yeah.
And I would call Kinsey a Vrabel guy. And like, I don't think they're sitting there shaking in their boots saying, "Oh gosh, what if we don't get Mason Kinsey?" Mason Kinsey's good to have around because, like I said, if you need him, and I'm going to tell you, watching him practice, I'm like, Mason Kinsey can play. I mean, he's as competitive as anybody that's out there. We all know he has speed, okay? And, he hasn't embarrassed them when he's got out on the field. I mean, shoot, he played quarterback in Minnesota. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. Yeah. So I don't know this for a fact, but my simple gut reaction is they want someone else to win that job so that they don't have to keep an extra body. And my guess, number one, on who they want to win that job would be Chimere Dike.
Yep.
Yeah, and Buck Rising made a tweet today, and he said, or put a tweet out today, if they try anyone but James Prochet at punt returner, bad things happen. And I just thought, I was like, man, you know what I mean? It's like, are we getting back to the time already where you're going to have to call old Trusty up, old reliable Mason Kinsey to come in
That's
there
good news for him.
to catch some punts, right? Definitely. And what is your as far as Cam Ward? I know like today he looked pretty good from what I heard out of training camp notes and stuff like that. But he has thrown 6 picks in camp so far. Are you concerned about that? And how does Cam Ward look to you overall?
Well, I would say, the picks early were concerning, but before today, he'd gone 3 practices in a row without an interception, which said he was not repeating some of the same mistakes that he was making. And that's really the most important thing, that he learned from the mistakes that he was making. Look, I want to see more from the pocket with Cam Ward. I want to see him drop back, make the read, let it rip, and make more of those plays and less of the hanging onto the ball. And I know he can extend plays and make things happen. I need to see plays come from the pocket. And that's what I'm kind of anxious to see tomorrow night. But having said that, seeing them, you were there yesterday, so you saw him go 2-minute. That's the first time I've seen them go 2-minute in camp. And that, to me, that was the best he looked. He called the play. He got the guys on the line. He took the snap. He took a look, and he just let it fly. I mean, he looked like he was confident and in command. And so,
Right.
I mean, and I know like when Mariota was struggling, sometimes they would let him speed things up because they felt like he was better in those situations. But I just felt he looked a lot more in command and comfortable in that situation than taking the call, getting the huddle, getting on the line, getting under center, that whole process. He looks way more comfortable just operating out of the shotgun and calling his own thing and letting it fly. But he's, the other thing, the last 2 days, the red zone's been better. And again, why is that? Because he's learning. He's learning what he can do and what he can't do in the NFL, what he can get away with, what's going to be there and what's not going to be there. So this is all a process. And I think we're seeing development in some of that process.
Yeah, and a lot has been made over, the offense and the struggles. There's not been too much talked about as far as the defense goes. Like it seems like they're playing pretty well in camp. There's not a whole lot of conversation, and a lot has been about the offense. Obviously, there's going to be more about the offense
because the
of
whole
Cam
season
Ward.
is about Cam Ward. That's why.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And as far as the offensive line is concerned, Mark, I know you had some concerns with Jalen Duncan. Um, as far as that goes, obviously everybody has concerns with Jalen Duncan, but I'll let you, talk about that.
So my question to you, Cory, is
Yeah.
It's every year we either have, the Traylon Burks. We have that whole story every year. He's going to bounce back, or this is going to be the year he's healthy. And then the other thing we got on the flip side is Jalen Duncan. And no offense to Jalen Duncan, great guy off the field. I just only play. The last 2 years watching this guy, and I have a lot of faith in Bill Callahan, but I saw Bill Callahan work with him last year, and I didn't see any improvement. So why should I be buying in this year to Jalen Duncan?
Well, listen, our guy TD is on the bandwagon right now, and he watches a lot of practice. And you know what? He's right. Duncan has performed better in practice. Like I watched him in one-on-one, and he performed better. And I said, TD, you're right. He is performing better. But I'll believe it when I see it, when the real competition comes. Because that's my big question with Jalen Duncan. It's the fire. It's what's in here. It's the same thing with Andre Dillard, same thing with Nicholas Petit-Frere. They were not gladiators. These guys have to be combatants, gladiators, ready to rock and roll at any time. And I just don't know that that's Jalen Duncan. And so I view these preseason games as hugely important for number 71, because I'm intrigued that he's practicing better, but I'm not going to buy that he's changed until I see it with somebody in another jersey going against him. And him doing it snap after snap after snap, because he's 6'6", 320 pounds, and there are a few snaps he looked good, and you go, okay, he needs to look good every snap. He needs to battle every snap, and so that's what I'm anxious to see. Look, I was surprised he was back for this year, after last year, but they've got him, and it's horrifying. This isn't very nice. It's horrifying to think about him playing in front of Cam Ward It just is. Until he proves to me in these games that he is in fact changed and good enough to play in an NFL game.
Well, if he's doing that much better, this is your perfect chance to ship him out west. What happened with the Chargers and Slater? I'm just saying.
Oh, could you imagine San Diego or the LA trying to say we're going to replace Slater with Jalen Duncan?
Well, the 49ers are doing a good job with the guys they're picking up. My goodness.
The Petit Frere didn't even make it to camp.
Wow.
They cut him this summer. And I always get, I remember Dennis Daly, who just retired. I mean, we saw the horrific season he had, and the Cardinals gave him a 2-year contract. We saw the horrific season that Andre Dillard had, and the Packers scooped him up. And it's just like, there are whole staffs dedicated to this. You guys can see the film. You can see the film. Look, if you've ever seen Andre Dillard in person, he looks the part. That dude is, he looks like, to Rossi, like he'd be in the ring with your dad. Just a huge, huge
Right.
guy, just a huge, huge guy. But it's not, all you have to do is watch the tape to know it's not in here. He's not a gladiator. And that's not something you can teach. You can teach technique. All right. You can teach discipline. You can't teach combat. You can't. And that's, to me, that's the big question about Jalen Duncan. To me, his last chance to prove you're a combatant.
And I think we got other question marks too, obviously, across the offensive
They just
line.
picked first. They got a whole roster full of them.
Yeah. And, Dan Moore, the other tackle, what have you seen out of him so far?
He is really, look, he's a big man, but he's really athletic. He's got good feet. I can totally see why he's the left tackle and they moved Latham over to the right side. He is coachable. He is a combatant. And I think he's going to work well with Skoronski. And, look, he was playing against Hendrickson and Myles Garrett 4 games a year over there. So,
right.
He had his hands full for 1 quarter of the schedule, guaranteed. But, he's got a good head on his shoulders as well. But the thing I saw from him, and because I went over there to watch him specifically a few times, I'm like, he's athletic. He is athletic and he likes to play football, and that's a really good place to start.
Yeah. Well, that gets me excited because that position has been an issue for many years now.
Look, I'm not going to say he's going to be a Pro Bowler, but he's an NFL football player, which is more than they've had out there the last few years.
Yeah, a much better improvement from Dennis Daly, Andre Dillard, Duncan, Frere, all the guys who have tried to test their hand at that position. Jay Fiero in the chat, he says, do you guys think we can average more than 20 points this year? Can we average more than 17?
Yeah.
What do you think on that one?
I like to think so. And because, this is what I always say. Hope is not a strategy. All right. And for years, this position we've been talking about, they have hoped the offensive line would be improved. They have hoped that Petit Frere or Jalen Duncan or Dylan Radins or one of these guys would fill these roles, that they would elevate their game. They're not doing that this year. They got 5 linemen. All right. They got a starter from the Steelers. They got a 14-year vet from the Lions. They got 2 first-round picks, and they got Cushenberry at center back this year. So they know they've got 5 starters. Having 5 qualified offensive linemen automatically makes them better. I like to think that offensive line should make them 3 points better. Don't you think that's safe to say? That offensive line should make them 3 points better. Cam Ward should make them 3 points better. All right. So let's get them up over 22 points a game this year. How about that?
Right. Yeah. No, I think, with the offensive line being the way it is and the way it is now, there should be no reason we cannot get over 20 points a game. And going over to like the defensive side of the ball, seem to be doing pretty well. Like Cody Barton looks great out there. One of the major question marks, and this was in our community poll, and our poll today is about, L'Jarius Sneed and, what's the latest on him, his recovery.
He's there. He's working out. Callie said maybe there's a chance he comes back next week. But guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm at that point. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not saying he's never going to play for him again, but if it was me, I need guys I can count on. All right. And I know I can count on Jarvis Brownlee Jr. I know I can count on Roger McCreary, and I know I can count on Darrell Baker. And I would just be ready to roll with those guys. But, they've got a lot invested in L'Jarius Sneed. And, they obviously want to see him on the football field. Like I said, he's there. He's working. But as far as practicing and playing, I'm sorry. I'll believe it when I see it.
I got something for you real quick. So it kind of goes off, it piggybacks off of each other. So that's why I'm going to bring it up. And I love him. So first of all, my first question to you, Cory, were you shocked on the news of Jared not doing his contract on the radio?
Yeah.
And number two, Jared's under a lot of heat today because of the fact that he said something about Callahan maybe has a control problem, a coaching problem with more fights today. And you saw the Simmons fight. You saw Brownlee Jr. going at it with the fan. And I believe even Io, I heard on the radio, might have threw a punch at somebody today, believe it or not.
Who's Io?
Io Manor?
Oh, Io Manor. Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my nickname.
No, it's okay.
Remember Io from Illinois? That's kind of where I'm going.
Okay.
You're a Chicago guy,
Yeah. ILL. INI. Look, when Jared grabs onto something, he's not going to let it go. All right. Yeah. He's still defending J-Rob. Okay. So he's not going to let it go. All right. He apparently can and Jared and I are friends first and foremost. So yes. But we disagree on things. I don't think someone who drafts Isaiah Wilson, Caleb Farley, Traylon Burks in the first round, signs Vic Beasley, trades for, trades a second and a fourth for a washed Julio Jones. Look, there's reasons you get fired. Okay.
Yeah.
If I explain it this way, if because he had a good start, 16 and 19 drafts, really good. But if you go to college and you're a 4.0 student for 2 years, but then the next 2 years you're a 0.0 student, guess what? It doesn't matter. You're still going to get kicked out of school, and your dad's not going to pay your tuition anymore. All right. You can't go, but Dad, I look at the first 2 years. I was 4.0. It doesn't work that way. It's what have you done for me lately? Okay. But so Jared will hang on to these things, and he has sunk his hooks in that he is going to tear down Callie. That Callie is not a good coach. And we still have to, he had 1 year. Jimmy Johnson went 1-15 his first year. That wasn't so good. So look, he may be a disaster as a head coach, but that roster wasn't good. All right. Yeah. If you want to say, well, he should have gotten more out of Will Levis. Okay. That was a disappointment. That was a disappointment that relationship wasn't better, didn't produce more than you thought. But like I said, it's been 1 year. The thing he likes to pick on is what was he called the summer program? His summer camp program,
points and stuff.
Pee-wee program. Yeah. The thing is, Jared and I are both fans of Mike Mularkey. We thought Mike Mularkey was a very good head coach.
Coach Mularkey.
He did a very good job for this football team. I mean, he took a team that won, 5 games in 2 years and took it to back-to-back winning seasons and their first playoff victory in 14 years. Well, when he took over, he did the exact same thing. The exact same thing. He made every day about competition. Made every practice about competition, made every meeting room about competition. They shot baskets. They played rock, paper, scissors. They did all that stuff. Okay. Maybe they're doing stuff that hasn't been done before this year, but it's all based on the same thing. It's increasing competition. It's creating camaraderie. It's accountability. It's leadership. It's all just doing the same stuff. So, by picking on it the way he's picking on it and kind of oversimplifying it is ignoring stuff that's happened in the past. And it's just fitting his argument, which is what he does and what he does really well.
Jay said, what's the latest at running back?
I think they're the third string running back. Did you hear anything on that, Corey? Who's kind of the front runner there?
Oh, well, I mean, I would think it's Mullings. I mean, the rookie from Michigan. And I know they've really liked him since the pads have come on. Like they've seen since the pads came on, he's gone up a level. Okay. I mean, he's there to be that change of pace. He's a big kid, big rock head, former linebacker. So he is a change of pace for them at that position. And so they've been happy with that. But I will say Julius Chestnut looked pretty good the other day. And, he's always been a guy who's been good in the open field. He caught a screen pass the other day and weaved his way all the way down the field. And he caught a couple touchdowns from Cam in the red zone offense as well. So, I don't think Julius is just going to go away. I don't know if who are the other guys? Jefferson and Jordan Mims.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they make a push, but I think it's still Chestnut and Mullings in that competition. And teams generally don't like to cut their draft picks. So I would be surprised if it's not Mullings. And again, I advocate last year, and I like Julius. I talked to him a bunch. They should have kept Hassan Haskins last year. As soon as they cut him, I questioned it. I said he's a core special teams player. And, they kept Julius because they felt he was a better running back with the ball in his hands. Well, how many carries did he have for the season last year? 15? I mean, it's an irrelevant stat. It's an irrelevant stat. It just is. And by the way, you could have put Julius on your practice squad. I don't think anybody else would have scooped him up. And you got rid of a course. I mean, we saw what happened when they cut Hassan and they traded away Elijah Molden, and he was another core special teams player. And what was a disaster last year to start the season.
Seems like that's like a common theme with all the guys, isn't it? Like another team picks them up and they're decent or they're better than they were on the Titans.
Well, it's not always the case. But for those guys and Malik Willis, Malik Willis was good last year in the preseason. We all knew he was improved. I was kind of surprised they got rid of him. I'm like, I would have hung on to him. He looked pretty good and he's under contract, but whatever. The Molden thing surprised me, and I knew they didn't like him, and I just didn't understand why. Because I know he had injury problems early, but the last couple of years he's played most every game, and he always had a nose for the football. And what do you have last year? 5 picks, and
pretty good amount for him.
And he got paid. And Haskins had a big role with the Chargers last year as well.
And Malik's still with the Packers, right? He's
and playing well.
Backup.
Yeah, and that goes to what do I always say about guys, Rossi? They're allowed to get better. All right, guys are allowed to get better. And Malik, what did we say when he came in? He'd never been under center. He was running a really simple offense at Liberty. He needed. The worst thing that happened to him was being the number 2 quarterback his rookie year. He needed time to just practice, and I think Will just needs time to practice. I think being hurt this year really hurts him because I think he needs a few years of learning to see the game at this level at that position. But guys are allowed to get better. Sam Darnold. I never thought Geno Smith would be a successful quarterback. He's one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen when he came into the league, and he's probably got 25,000 career yards now.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield was never.
He got hurt.
I wouldn't call him. Yeah, he got hurt. I wouldn't say he was terrible, but going to the Bucs, man, the best thing that could have happened to him.
Yeah.
And he's playing amazing. So
he's getting paid.
Yeah, definitely getting paid. So that's gonna pretty much wrap it up for us tonight. Mark, you got anything else for Corey before we head out of here?
The Tampa Bay game, how much do you really like? How we know Cam Ward's going to play, but I think he's going to play a series, 2 series. Well, what's your thoughts on that?
Callie said a series or 2, so my feeling is 1 long series. But if the first series goes 3 and out, he's coming back out there. my thing is, and it also depends on how these joint practices go, but they all need to play. I mean,
Yeah,
the
I
offensive
agree.
line needs to play. He needs to play. They all need to play. So we'll see how long he's out there. Because it doesn't. I mean, I don't. Vita Vea is not going to play, so you don't have to worry about the 400-pound Samoan crushing him. So
Or
that
the
that
other guy
that's
that's
okay.
on the Bucks, that really huge guy that's been
Yeah, torn.
450 pounds.
He's not allowed to practice yet.
Yeah, that's
He
what I've
can't
heard.
practice. He's not allowed to practice till he can run 10 laps without stopping. So I don't think he's going to get there all season. I mean,
Yeah,
I think he's
golly, man.
393 pounds.
I thought he was like 450, but that
Oh,
was on
was he?
that Dov Climb and X page, and who
Yeah.
knows how true that is or not. So
He's a big boy.
yeah,
And
I mean,
clearly didn't
hopefully
spend
he
the
gets
summer getting
down.
ready.
Hopefully he loses some weight and he does it, man.
Got to take
We'll
it
see.
seriously.
Yeah, for sure. But Cory, thank you so much. Mark,
Yep.
Yeah, thanks,
appreciate
Cory.
you
Hey, nice to
coming
meet
on
you.
as well. And everybody, we'll see you next time. Make sure and tighten up that like button. Mark's been putting out videos like every single day. I've been putting out some shorts. I'll be doing live. We are doing watch parties this preseason too. So check that out. We're one of the only channels that actually do it. So make sure and tune in for that. And we'll
And
be
watch the
doing
game
watch
on News
parties.
2.
There you go. Watch the game on News 2 and watch Cory's show on News 2 Monday through Thursdays. But anyways, we appreciate everybody, and we will see you next time.
Good.
Still live.
Okay.
Hold on.